racing.
Holy mother Russia, indeed.
Coming into the corner, that's a brilliant move. He
Definitely.
managed to keep it under control.
Daniel Kiss is leading. Jim Paresis is off. Jim Paresis is off. And he's out of the race. Jim Paresis is out of the race because of lag issues.
It looks like he had a disconnection,
He had a disconnect.
Unless he reappears.
No.
We'll see if he reappears because he
I hope
hasn't
so.
DNF yet.
Come on, Jim, come back. No, he had a DNF. It's over for Jim Paresis. So the lead being handed over on a silver platter to Mr. Kit.
Coming up live here on Monday Night Skippies. Real racing, real action, real excitement from Phillip Island. Watch it!
What is it about speed? Do these rivals chase speed because they can? Or because they can't help it? IndyCar. The heart of racing. Go to IndyCar.com for live timing and scoring, upcoming race details, and to join the conversation.
Simulated racing can be awesome, but it can also be kind of a free-for-all. Interestingly, auto racing faced the same problem in its earlier days. Whether it was on the back roads, the beaches, or the city streets, the racing was fun. But there was always a certain level of chaos and danger, until some folks came along and put some order to all of this. Stuff like official racetracks, regulations about weight and equipment, and enforcement of standards. That's what gave us high-speed excitement, fast-paced action, and photo finishes. That's when racing became racing. The guys over at iRacing.com have made the same transformation in the world of sim racing. Sure, they've got the most accurate tracks and realistic cars out there, but that's just the start. See, iRacing analyzes the performance and results of each driver in every race, so you can be sure you're always placed in races where the competition will be tight, and that those reckless drivers who ruin it for us all are kept in the pits. Not to mention that with over 45,000 active members already in their vast community, you can find races day and night, so you can always get in on the action. You can even join a league of your favorite series. And since updates are always automatic, you don't have to worry about software and can focus on the track. Zip up your fire suit and check out iRacing.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 3 of the Club UK Island Skip Barber Racing School Championship, which lives exclusively live here on RaceSpotTV. It's the old gang back together, Will Vincent along with Rachel Whiteford for the third round of the championship. Qualifying, well, that'll be scored complete in about 1.5 minutes time. We've got ourselves currently Matthew Daniels scored on provisional pole position, Mark Mercer in second, Sebastian Job in third. However, that can very easily change over the course of the last moment of qualifying. As we look on board then with that driver of Sebastian Job working himself up the hill and down. This is through the Lukey Heights section of the racetrack. They can see 35 seconds left on the play clock. And Rachel, we know that Phillip Island qualifying isn't that important, but getting yourself a good position can very easily be a key to success.
Yeah, good evening, Will. It will be tonight, of course. This track is very hard for these cars. Turn 2, well, you're on the edge there. Turn 1, it's not much better. Going through turn 5 and 6, wow, tricky, tight, slow corners. With a field of this size, we're going to have a lot of good action tonight, and, wow, it's going to be paid to be very cautious at the start, and the further forward you are, the further away from danger you're going to be.
Well, qualifying has expired, so drivers on a lap where they can do themselves one more. As we see, it's currently Matthew Daniels on pole position. Sebastian Job not able to improve his time that last time by. He's got himself Mark Mercer right behind him on the racetrack. I think they both crossed the start-finish line in time. Ruddle on board with Mercer. Out of turn 2, down towards 3. Job gets himself a big wiggle. Mercer's going to work himself past there. In second place at the moment, the gap to himself. And pole position, Rachel, well, that is just 165 one-thousandths of a second.
It is indeed very close to the front there, and brilliant pole position that by Matthew Daniels. We've seen great things from him this year, Will, and I'm expecting a lot more.
Yeah, he qualified in 4th place for the Skip Barber 2K World Cup race yesterday. Got himself caught up in a melee that went on down in turn number 5 on the opening lap of the race. Got Roderick Davidovic still scored on the racetrack. It doesn't look as though he will likely improve. He's working himself through the S's down towards the Lukey Heights once again. We're right on board of him. In fact, his qualifying day is done. That is all he will be able to do. For him, Atenides is still scored on the racetrack. Fastest lap of the event for him so far. That is a 146.606 to work himself through Lukey Heights down towards turn number 10. Once again, from here on in, it realistically is flat out. Atenides trying to make it back to the stripe in time to get himself another lap in the books, but time is running out for him. We'll run yourself through your full starting grid in just one moment's time, as Atenides will indeed bring his car onto pit road. So it doesn't look as though anyone is going to improve on qualifying. David Grunhill on the racetrack right now, but it doesn't look as though he will improve either to work himself through the final couple of corners on the racetrack. Let's work yourself then through your qualifying event here. And on pole position here today, it will be the driver of Matthew Daniels, scoring himself a pole position, 1 minute 45.937. Second place will go to Mark Mercer. He is just 16/100ths of a second further back from pole position, with Sebastian Job in 3rd place. Keep Sharp in the 4th position. And we head on back, and you can see that it is Roderick Davidovic in 5th, Rob Kane in 6th, Adrian Bidwell in 7th, Fahim Atenides in 8th, Wayne Townsend in 9th, and Mark Turner running out your top 10. Clark Williams in 11th, with Mizzen in the 12th position, then Pete Newman in 13th, David Williams in 14th, David Grunhill and Brennan running at row number 8. Then you've got Chris Simpson, Mark O'Connell, Daniel Craft, Graham Forrest. They are your top 20. Peter Cohen on the outside of that top 20 in 21st position. Rich Jones, Mike Cannon, Robert Plumney, Warren Landman, Stuart Bunyan, Alan Patterson, Dave Prime in your 28th position. And then 29th and final, it is Dave Taylor, who did not set himself a qualifying lap. We know, Rachel, this racetrack, it is so fast. Drafting will be the order of the day here today.
Yeah, it will be, of course, with such high speeds, of course. Coming out of that Lukey Heights hairpin, well, you are flat out, it is tight, so people will be having to back off in that draft, just trying to keep it on the track. Going through turn 1, not quite full throttle, but wouldn't break either. Turn 2, though, is going to be very interesting in traffic.
There's a look at your pole position driver, Matthew Daniel, at the front end of the field. We are getting ourselves towards the conclusion of qualifying here. So the gridding process here, about a minute before we head ourselves to the green flag. We'll be back in just 30 seconds time.
What is it about speed? Do these rivals chase speed because they can? Or because they can't help it? IndyCar, the heart of racing. Go to IndyCar.com for live timing and scoring, upcoming race details, and to join the conversation.
Don't forget, the next round of the Verizon IndyCar Series will take place on the New Orleans Motorsports Park. That'll be in just a couple of days' time on the NBC Sports Network in Europe. You can catch that on the ESPN player. Well, the drivers are set, ready for another race here in the Skip Barber Championship. Green flag in the air. We are racing, as it is going to be a good start there by Matthew Daniels. The car stormed down towards turn 1 for the first time. They are working themselves through that first corner. Let's see if they can all make it through as they work themselves here. Look from our aerial coverage. Your top 4 drivers got themselves single file. They look further back. That's what the action is. Side by side right now. So number 16 car, number 98 car, Clark Williams, they head themselves down into 2 for the first time. Side by side racing down on your pack as well. 3 wide, our driver pushed off track there. We've got 2 drivers off there, 3 drivers off that in turn number 2. And Rachel, we talked about how difficult turn 2 can be. You got a couple of them who's fallen victim in the early going of this race.
Have indeed, of course, most of them just getting off the track there, which is safer than it could have been. Expecting big heavy contact, but we avoided that. Will, of course, running wide problem, but you can come back from running wide. You can't get away from having bits missing on the race car. So 3 wide, we turn 5, we have car contact again.
Yeah, we're running on board of the driver of Mark Mercer, running himself in 3rd position. Roderick Davidovic is looking down to his inside, so work themselves out of turn number 5, up through the S's they come for the first time. It is stacked up towards the rear end of your front pack right now. We've got side by side with Sharp and Davidovic. They work themselves towards Lukey Heights for the first time in this race. Sebastian Job is just putting that pressure in that Apex Racing car over Matthew Daniels. They work themselves up Lukey Heights for the first time. Down the hill they come, and down in towards turn number 10 for the first time in this 14-lap event. And well, you can see that Sebastian Job has got himself a great start to this event. Most drivers have had themselves a good start. We've got all drivers still circulating on the racetrack. At the very rear of the field, you've got yourself the driver of Dave B. Taylor, but he's not too far away from working himself up a couple of positions. So we look on board then, Rachel, with Roderick Savidovic. This is that first time to see what the draft can be as Sebastian Job goes to the race lead.
Yeah, he does indeed. We didn't expect him to sit there in third for long in that beautiful new Apex Racing UK car he's driving today, Will. So, back to his natural environment, we should say, but Daniels, he's not ready to give up yet.
As the 41 machine of Matthew Daniels almost clipping over the front wing there. We saw that on your screens over Mark Mercer. Mercer down 2 positions as Matthew Daniels running himself right now in that 2nd position. Mark Mercer in 3rd, Roderick Savidovic in 4th, and Keep Sharp rounding out your top 5. We'll get that ticker running along the top of your screen, but this race is going to be all about action-packed excitement right on board with Adrian Bidwell running himself in P number 8, as you have got yourself a bit of a battle going on right now. This is between Mark Mercer, Roderick Savidovic, battle for P3, P number 4. Mercer able to hold it on the inside, although Matthew Daniels now heads himself to the race lead as he got himself out the first of these 2 hairpins. Daniels is on a charge here, H.
Yeah, he is. He's been looking strong the last few weeks. Well, this start of this season, he's been in great shape, and I'm loving where he's at right now. He's fighting Job for the race lead here. That's a big thing. Job, he's been fast, but Daniels, we might have a new contender here.
Yes, there you can see your battle going on, and Sebastian Job technically has himself the race lead, so work himself down into Lukey Heights once again. He's going to run the outside line, but Daniels falls into line in that 2nd position. Mark Mercer will have the inside line, so work himself down into Lukey Heights, but he decides to back out of it. He remains side by side with Roderick Savidovic. Now Savidovic will have himself the inside line into the next corner, right on board with that driver of Savidovic out of Lukey Heights, down towards the start finish line once again. But it's all action going on right now in your front pack. Behind, we still got ourselves some close racing going on. We will try and pay attention to that one as it unfolds. As Dominic Brennan batting it out closely. As Forrest is going to be classified as out of the race, Rachel.
He is indeed, of course, looped it going through. That was the Lukey Heights hairpin there. Made contact with Plumley and I believe also with the car there of Daniel Craft. So, bit of an issue for him, and Alan Patterson also involved. Yeah, bit of a fracas going on early in this race, but thankfully most cars drove away from it.
Yeah, the Guinness machine there, getting himself spun all by himself, causing another couple of drivers issues down at Lukey Heights. Out front is Matthew Daniels, who leads. Sebastian Job is right behind him. 3 tenths of a second is the gap between P1 and P2, although Mercer going to work himself side by side through turn number 3 as they head themselves down towards 4. Once again, who will be the winner in this battle? Will it be Mercer? Will it be Job? They are stacking themselves up as they come down in towards turn number 4 once again. And Rachel, we need to talk about yesterday, what happened down at turn number 4, because you had yourselves the driver Fahim Atinides go off the racetrack. He got himself bumped down to that inside line. If one driver gets pushed down to that inside line onto the grass, well, we can have ourselves an 8-car incident without any issue at all.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that's happened in Viet Supercars at this track on many occasions. Well, car gets on that inside there, they cannot stop, and they'll be coming back across the racing surface at the apex of turn 5, which is pretty much a beeline to a torpedoing. You can't do anything about that, so very important to watch that. Also running wide here at Lukey Heights, if you go up to the right, you're going straight down the hill to the exit to the corner where cars are slow. So there are some real opportunities here for disaster with a field of this size. So it's good these drivers are keeping things aware, but you know, not an easy track, and certainly one where cars off the racing line can have bigger issues than we initially thought.
Gap to the race lead from team number 7 is currently 2 seconds. So there you are, 7 drivers separated by just 2 seconds on the racetrack. There you can see a visual look at them as they all work themselves down towards turn number 1. Once again, there you can see the gaps left hand side of your screen, and you've got yourself your top 7 drivers classified within 2 seconds as they work themselves down towards 1. But a little bit further back, you've got yourself side by side right now. Pete Newman, Chad Simpson, they're working themselves side by side.
Oh, Will, Daniel sideways coming through turn 2. Back end of that race car, stepped out slightly, stepped out again on exit, lost that inside line there to Joe, but Joe back to that race lead right now. But Daniel's brilliant car control, holding that thing, cars so close behind him. Vidovic there and Mercer both looking for that P2. This has become a real scrap.
Yeah, there's a look at Matthew Daniels then. This is down in towards turn number 1 when he lost it right about here. You can see that Sebastian Job's going to look down to his inside into that second corner, and there you can see the moment where Matthew Daniels almost had his race thrown away. That could have been very easily a 6-car incident, but Daniels does hold on. Sebastian Joe, good car placement, puts his car down to the inside. He's able to take that race lead away from Matthew Daniels in that devolution car as they head themselves down towards turn number 3. Alongside, you can see that's Mark Mercer and Roderick Savidovic battling it out for position, but now it's Job leading away from Savidovic, from Daniels and Mercer. They are your top 4, so work themselves up the hill once again. Great start to this race, but we still got ourselves 11 laps worth of racing, and realistically, Rachel, we still got ourselves a good 7-8 cars in the shout.
Oh, we do indeed, and I just think if Daniels can get himself back to the race lead here, and Job can end up in a fight with Mercer and Savidovic, could run away with this well, which would be incredibly exciting to see. But right now, as you say, we have a number of cars that are within this fight. He's Sharp, Savidovic, Mercer, Job, Daniels, even Kane. They're all involved here, and should something go wrong, any one of them could win this. They're all so close together on such a difficult circuit, as we have Savidovic running outside in turn 1 before they get to the braking zone. Brilliant pass there by Savidovic, typical draft pass. Yeah, 1 foot wrong, we got a whole new leader.
Yeah.
Whole new pack.
As we're right on board with Sebastian Job in P number 2 right now. The gap between himself and Savidovic up to 3/10 of a second. But Savidovic around the outside, down towards turn number 1. Let's get ourselves another look at that one. Actually, no, we won't, because Job is going to look down to the outside. So inside of turn number 3, with the outside for turn number 4. But Job will get that pass complete before they even get themselves to that braking zone on turn number 4. You can see now that Job is going to run that middle line. That allows the driver Matthew Daniels to come back into play, but Daniels has himself a horrific corner there. He's falling down the order once again, currently battling out with Mark Mercer in that battle for P number 3. P number 4, Daniels down to the inside, so work themselves into turn number 5. Daniels will hold on to that bronze medal position just for the time being, but unlike yesterday, Rachel, in the 2K World Cup, where you see a lot of strategy coming into play, there's no pit stops here. These drivers are on it from lap number 1.
Yeah, they are. Of course, shorter race here. We only have 14 laps tonight, so you've really got to get what you can get as soon as possible. Otherwise, well, cars are too far away. No amount of strategy will help you. These tyres, they do last, and even in the 2K Cup, we don't really see people taking tyres, so not as big an issue really in this race. The weight is, you take too little, you might not finish the race. You take too much, you're going to be too slow. So, really critical to get those numbers.
Rachel, as it's Wayne Sanderson off there in the number 1 machine, running along on board with Dominic Brennan. As we saw the driver Sanderson just going off the racetrack just ahead of him. As we'll get ourselves another look at that one. It was one of those half steady slow spins there, as this is a run through Lukey Heights they come. Wayne Sanderson working himself up the hill, absolutely no issues. He works himself down the hill, tries to put that power on, and then from there on it goes all horribly wrong for him. So we get ourselves a look on our Super Slow-Mo replay, brought to you today by And One Design. There you can see Wayne Sanderson's car, back end of that thing, just stepping out on it. You had yourself one of the Coanda cars.
Well, Savidovic back to the lead.
Savidovic does go back to the point. There's a look at Wayne Sanderson there, just going off of the racetrack. He's now scored all the way down in the 26th position, taking a very, very long way around the racetrack. But out front, it is Roderick Savidovic who leads once again, although Sebastian Job trying to line himself up a pass as he comes down in towards turn number 4. Sebastian Job will go back to the race lead there. As you can see, again, it's going to be Matthew Daniels trying to put that pressure on, run on board of him as he's still in that 3rd position. Daniels is stalking right now. These front 2 out front, he just can't get the track placement, Rachel, to get the move done.
No, and I think it could well be a contact between those two that ends up giving him something here, because he is on pace. He needs to find a space for it to happen. Job, he's the master of close racing here, of course. You see him placing that car exactly where it needs to be. He puts himself on the right line, he puts other people on the incorrect line, and it pays off for him. Savidovic, we know he's a real backstreet scrapper. He will go for whatever he can take. And Daniels, he's not used to being this far up the field, so busy holding off Mark Mercer, a veteran of the series. Yeah, he's going to have to get a little bit more aggressive if he wants to get anything out of this one.
Mark Mercer's actually been able to get himself ahead of Savidovic, who currently have ourselves a total of 6 drivers in the lead train. Fahim Atinidez is at the rear of that train as they head themselves down towards the start-finish line to put another lap in the books. There you can see Fahim Atinidez at the rear of that train. The gap between himself and P number 7, Rob Kane, currently static at 1 second. Behind, you yourself Rob Kane and Clark Williams, and the gap back to David Williams, who runs himself in 9th, is 2 and, well, almost 3/4 of a second as they come down in towards 1. Once again, a little bit of scrapping still going on. Atinidez and Kane battling it out. Job and Savidovic battling it out. Down the field, you have got yourself a little bit of scrapping going on still, Rachel, with these drivers. David Williams, Dominic Brennan battling for P number 9, P number 10.
Yeah, they are on track well. This is a great fighter right now. Of course, we do, of course, have 2 Williams in this race. Probably not related, but there you go. Yep, that's Racer Commander car there. That 25 Williams holding off Turner right now and Brennan. Brennan's going to look to the outside, though, going into turn 5. Can he get a run around the outside, though? It can be done, but takes a lot of wheels we have. Whoa, he's gone wide. Big wobble there. Tank slapper for Williams in that Commander car. Could have lost himself a position there, but Brennan being a bit patient.
As Sebastian Job heads himself back to the race lead, Savidovic pushing wide. This allows Mark Mercer to come back into play. The scrap for position going on right now. We're riding on board with Roderick Savidovic now up into that second place. Alongside him is a number 33 car, Mark Mercer. Through Lukey Heights they come once again, as Savidovic will get that position. He's already trying to look down to the inside of Sebastian Job through Lukey Heights. Not quite close enough. Savidovic now up into a position where he is incredible at, Rachel. P number 2, you only know it's a matter of time before he starts to pounce.
Yeah, Savidovic will look for that opportunity to get past. He's always one of those guys that will put his nose in and see what happens. Kind of a cook by taste sort of driver I have here, but Job, he's going to be tough to get past. He has just perfect defensive placement there. We know Savidovic can get that exit on the final corner. He can get that draft toe, and as we see, Job going defensive.
Yeah, Savidovic tried the inside line in towards turn 1. He takes that race lead away. 7 laps remaining. Halfway point of this event. Savidovic down to the inside. He gets that move complete. He moves himself up into first position for the time being at least. But still a lot of racing to go here at the wonderful Phillip Island as they come down in towards turn number 2. Once again, Daniels has fallen all the way down into the 4th position after what had been an incredible qualifying for him. He is now fallen down 3 positions from pole position, running himself in that number 41 car, trying to battle it out with Mark Mercer, Sebastian Job and Roderick Savidovic going at it once again. This is down towards turn number 4 they come. Savidovic on the inside, Job on the outside, as Savidovic will get that race line that he wants. He'll get himself the race lead back at least temporarily, although Job will have the inside line into the next corner, and it will be side by side between these top 2 drivers, and Job will once again take that race lead away, Rachel.
Yes, he does. Oh, he's on the grass there. We run down to, the run out of turn 6 Siberia corner there. He's really slow from that grass. Mercer looking at the outside, Watch at the inside. Savidovic will take that position if Job cannot hold it on the inside. But pretty easy line from those. We see Savidovic. Can he hold it around the outside there? Will he have to run down the hairpin? He's going to stay on his outside, and Mercer's going to look to try and come with him and trap Job on the outside, Will.
Yeah, so we're having a look from our 360 cam, which is pointing the wrong way, but there you can see Roderick Savidovic round the outside of him as they work himself down into the final corner. Savidovic getting a little bit sideways. This will give Job the opportunity he needs to get out run into the final corner. They'll be side by side as they work themselves down towards turn number 1 once again. They can see Sebastian Job alongside him is Savidovic. Right behind is Mark Mercer, but it'll be Savidovic with the advantage. They're going to go 3 wide down towards turn number 1. There you can see Job. There you can see alongside him is Mercer. Mercer with a pull. Mercer going to go all the way to the race lead into that first corner. Mark Mercer classified as your new race leader. And we've got ourselves, 6 laps of racing. This one is not done. Mercer pushing wide. That's going to allow Job on the outside of him. So they come down in towards turn number 1. Savidovic is now once again your race leader. But what a brave move there by Mark Mercer in towards turn number 1. Going 3 wide down the front straight away in the middle, Rachel. Threading the needle, getting the job done.
Yeah, it was like watching a piece of metal between 2 magnets with opposite poles, Will. He just got between those cars and shot to the front. Brilliant, but then came Savidovic up the inside, had the great line to the corner, and he went flying. So this is getting very tight now. Job touching the back there of Mercer's car. This front pack has suddenly closed up. We've got 2x2x2 racing. Might as well be Noah's Ark.
Yep, here come the animals indeed. They work themselves through turn number 5 one more time. We've now got ourselves a total of 8 drivers in the mix. This is a driver at the rear of the pack, and the gap between P8 and P1, well, it's just literally 2 seconds as they work themselves through the S's down towards Lukey Heights. Once again, there'll be 5 laps to go this time by, and it's been an incredible fight so far. Down in the pack, by the way, Pete Mooman and Roger Curran battling out for position. This is P number 14, P15. Right on board with Pete Newman through Lukey Heights. There's also the driver Chris Simpson just ahead of them on the racetrack, and this is an ongoing battle down in your mid-pack. But we'll go back to the race lead. It's one of those races, Rachel, we've got to keep it on that battle out front, because lap by lap it's going to change, and Mercer a good run out that final corner, trying to get himself that race lead back.
We will indeed, of course. We have close racing throughout this field, Will, but my God, at the front here, it is so close. These guys going at it, hammer and tongs here. As we see Mercer diving onto the inside there of Watch. He's going to try and get that inside line to the first corner. He can hold it there. He's got the run now. To see what Watch can do on the outside there. Can Watch come for the crossover through turn 2? Here comes Job from behind. Wiggling, wobbling and sliding. All these guys are all over the place, but this is incredible action.
As it's going to be Mercer pushing wide. Zavinovic turned around there. Zavinovic goes full way down your field. Contact down in turn number 2. Roger Zavinovic all the way down. It's a P number 8 on the racetrack replay coming up on your screen. And well, Roger Zavinovic, that was down in turn number 2 as we got ourselves just literally 6 laps to go in the event. Let's get ourselves a replay there from our And One Design. Super slow mo replay as they work themselves into turn 2. And Zavinovic is out of the race by the look of it. That's for him, Antonides. Antonides classified as out of the race. Number 80 machine of Roderick Zavinovic. Let's get ourselves a look at this one there. He touches the rear of Mark Mercer's car, spun around, and he hit Sebastian Job actually there. But Roderick Zavinovic all the way down into the 11th position. And for him, Antonides, his engine is done. He is classified as out of the race, Rachel.
Yeah, he is, and right now it's Mercer leading from Daniels. Mercer's got a huge gap, though, to that car of Daniels behind him. And, of course, the only car to make it through there was Keith Sharp and Rob Kane, of course. We have Job running behind those guys. He's down in 5th position right now. How things change.
Let's get ourselves a look then what happens to Fahim Atanides still on this replay. This is the engine exploding. This is down into turn number 5. Fahim Atanides out of the race there in that Force India Sahara car. But Mark Mercer still leads, and the important thing is he now has himself a gap of 1.3 seconds, as we can just see there, over Matthew Daniels. Daniels to Kane is currently classified as 0.3 of a second. Then from Kane to Job, well, they're side by side, so they got themselves down towards 1 once again. We've still got ourselves a battle going on, but while these drivers battle, Mark Mercer's been able to put himself away as they come down into turn number 1. 4 laps to go of this event, and Rachel is at that stage of the race. Do they battle now, or do they try and work together to try and catch himself up to Mark Mercer, who's only 1.4 seconds up the road?
Well, it's going to be very difficult, of course, to see what happens there, but this has changed everything so far, Will. It's really thrown the entire race on its head. Well, the gaps have gotten suddenly bigger, and that has made things very, very different. A lot of time to catch up.
Down and towards turn number 4 they come. They can see Matthew Daniels. They can see the gap to race lead. Sebastian Job right behind them. Then it's Rob Kane in the 4th position. Keith Sharp runs in 5th. Clark Williams, Dominic Brennan, David Williams, Roderick Savinovic, and Mark Turner rounding out your top 10. They work themselves now up the hill, down towards Lukey Heights once again. And here's a look at your biggest movers and shakers in the race so far. Your biggest mover inside the top 10, well, that's this driver, Dominic Brennan. We ride along board with him in the 7th spot right now. He's got himself company of David Williams and Roderick Savinovic. Just a couple of attempts with a second back as he works himself down to Lukey Heights. But Dominic Brennan up 9 spots in this event so far. Sebastian Job trying to move himself back up into P number 2, Rachel, but as this greed comes in, they are losing time to Mark Mercer. I say that gap is back down to 1 second with 3 laps to go this time by.
Yeah, it's really closed up now, and of course he's out there on his own. It's a bit like being on your own at Daytona, of course. Those cars running together with some of the straights here. They came back up again, and that's happening right now with the cars of Job and of Daniels. So they could well reel in Mercer, and we could have ourselves a 3-0 battle here at the end. Well, we don't know how much damage Job's taken, but he's going to make that move there on Daniels. He will be second going into the first corner.
Yes, we get a look from the rear of Sebastian Job there. You can see up into P number 2 once again. The gap between himself and the race leader is 1 second with 2 3/4 laps to go. Matthew Daniels trying to go down to the inside there. Down into turn 2. He would have had the win taken away from him if he had done that. Daniel Pat, by the way, you got yourself side by side this between Daniel Craft and David Grunhill. So work themselves down in towards turn number 1 once again. They can see the driver of Daniel Craft losing that spot to Grunhill just ahead of him. You've got yourself a 2-wide battle that's been going on between Pete Newman and Peter Cohen. So they work themselves down in towards turn number 4. The number 17 Club 100 car, number 58 Securitas car, down in towards side by side into turn number 4. They come. Who will be the winner? It's going to be the number 58 machine of Pete Newman taking that spot away. He moves himself up now into the 12th position on the racetrack, and a little bit further ahead as well. Keith Sharp and Clark Williams, they are still, Rachel, scrapping it up, and this is that battle going on for P number 5 and 6.
Yeah, 5 and 6. Clark Williams, Keith Sharp, they've been together for quite a bit today, and of course, those two very used to running next to each other, so gonna have fun in the last couple of laps here. Another one of those red Devolution cars, which has cropped up in the field today. Probably something to do with Peter Newman, if I'm guessing, but those cars are having a great fight right now and looking awesome on the track.
Out front, it's still Mercer who leads the way. Sebastian Job in second. There you can see the gap between P number 1 and P number 2. It is a quarter of a second. Less than that. They work themselves out of the final corner, down towards start finish line again. Listen to the engine note then. Well, Sebastian Job, let's listen to the speed. He's going for the race lead. He's going to look to the outside at the very least. They come down and towards turn number 1. And Sebastian Job will try and get himself to the race lead. And he will take that one away from Mark Mercer for the time being. Into that first corner, round the outside he will go. He takes that spot away, but is that potentially too early now for Sebastian Job? He's almost got to allow that driver Mark Mercer pass down towards turn number 5. Otherwise, Job is going to have to be ultra defensive until that final lap. And we know now, Rachel, you pass on the inside and on the outside of that first corner.
Yeah, you really want to be second running out of that final corner on the penultimate lap, Will. You want to be there because you will get that draft toe. And it's pretty hard to defend against a pass you can make on either side. So, yeah, he wants Mercer in front of him, but how does he do that without getting Daniels past him as well?
Well, here is Mark Mercer running himself in P number 2. There is the gap to the front. It's currently classified as, I take that one back, it's 3 tenths per second. There's the gap behind. It's about half a second. Matthew Daniels is stalking there in P number 3. This is Skip Barber. You can make up 1 second with the draft at this type of racetrack in just 1 lap without any issue at all. They work themselves towards Lukey Heights. A white flag will be out 1 lap, well, sorry, about 5 corners away from here as your top 3 drivers separated by just half a second. Rob Kane is out of it for the time being. He's scored in P number 4. He is down in the 4th position, about 1.5 seconds away from your race lead as they work themselves on the exit of Leaky Heights. But Sebastian Job will take the white flag, Rachel. From here on in, who knows what could well happen.
Yeah, this is the final lap, and anything can really go on. It's just going to be, you know, hard racing. We see it every week from these guys. They're going to go at it hammer and tongs here. They are going to put their foot down, and it's going to be exciting. Immerse now, he's got that toe. He's going to look to the inside there on Job. Can Job stick this around the outside and have that line through too? Will that'll be the question.
Well, Sebastian Job is going to have that race lead lost from him as they come down in towards turn number 1, but it is far from over as they come down through turn number 1, through turn number 2 then for the final time in this event. It's going to be a three-way battle between Mark Mercer, Sebastian Job and Matthew Daniels for your race victory here down in the field for Hugh Martinez. We talked about him being out. He is now definitely out as these drivers come down through turn number 3. We zoom it in on them then to come down towards turn number 4 for what's going to be the final time in this event. And side by side, Sebastian Job down to the outside. Will he be able to hold it on the outside lines? They come down to the corner. Mercer will take the inside line away. This is going to be a drag race now up to turn number 5. Can Job keep that inside line? If you can get the inside line here, well, it pretty much can be game over. And Job will take that inside line away. Just now, a handful of corners to go as we look from the rear of Sebastian Job. We'll cycle that camera around for you as they can see Sebastian Job, your race leader. 2nd place is Mark Mercer. 3rd place is Matthew Daniels, right behind. 4th place is Rob Kane. He's close back up. Your top 4 drivers separated by just half a second right now as they work themselves through Lukey Heights for the final time. Bit of a slide there for Mark Mercer down into Lukey Heights for the final time in this event. Number 708 car trying to try and work himself around Rob Kane, but Sebastian Job looking as though he's going to have himself enough to work himself down. You're flat out from here on in, and looks like Sebastian Job may well just about be able to hold himself on to claim victory here in the Club Yukon Island Skip Barber Racing School Championship at Phillip Island. It will be close, but I don't think that Mark Mercer is going to be close enough. Down to the line they come. It's a late line, but it's going to be Sebastian Job claiming victory on the gap at the line, Rachel. 86 1/1000ths of a second.
That line had been 10 feet further up, we could be heralding a different winner, Will. That was so close, and it's not the first time this season even we've seen a finish that close. Let's not forget Lime Rock Park. But, yeah, what a race. Sebastian Job, he nearly threw it all away. He came back to pull the win. Just excitement from the drop of the flag till the final one. That was incredible.
We're running through your full race results in a moment. Here's a look at the drivers coming through the start-finish line now. So you've got yourself the number 79 machine of Rich Jones coming home in the 19th position. We had ourselves 24 drivers finish on the lead lap, and here's a look at the last of them to finish on that lead lap. It is Dave B. Taylor in that number 84 machine, working himself out of the final corner, down towards the start-finish line. He's going to push himself wide there, and he will finish ultimately on the lead lap, but all the way down in the 23rd position on the racetrack. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's get yourself a look at your final race results then here from Phillip Island. Sebastian Job claims victory. In the end, it's officially measured at 99 1,000ths of a second. Matthew Daniels in the third place, about 4 tenths of a second behind your race leader, Matthew Kane, classified within 1 second of the front of the field. He comes home in fourth, with Keith Sharp in fifth, Clark Williams in sixth, Savidovic, Williams, Turner and Bidwell rounding out your top 10. And then to head on back, you can see it's Dominic Brennan in 11th, Pete Newman in 12th, Peter Cohen in 13th, and Chris Simpson in 14th. Daniel Craft in 15th, David Grunhill, Mark O'Connell, Robert Plumley, Rich Jones, and Stuart Bunyan rounding out your top 20. There's a look at the back end of your results. And Rachel, get this. In an event with 29 drivers, we only had 5 of them retire. This isn't World Championship level.
Yeah, this is, well, you know, I think you can have a good point there, but great race, and most of those incidents, I think, were individual car problems, so quite a spectacular result for a difficult track like this one, and, well, standard we've come to expect.
We had no drivers with technical issues. We only had a couple of drivers with incident. For Himats arguably the biggest incident in this race. He finishes down in the 26th position. We'll step aside for just a couple of moments, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be back after this.
Monza is a very historic track. It's been around since the 20s, and it's gone through several permutations since then. We're also bringing forward a number of configurations. So there's chicanes that they've installed since the track's early days. So they can use original, very high-speed configurations of the track where the cars would just blow through where the chicanes are today, or they could use a more modern version. So it's a pretty cool, compelling track. The unique thing about Monza is it has a road course, but it also has a high-speed oval, and that high-speed oval can be run by itself. The Grand Prix course can be run by itself, and they also can be run together in a combined circuit, which is very unique and special in motorsports. This was one of the more challenging projects that we've undertaken. It was essentially building 2 tracks in one. It took a lot of time and a lot of care was put into it, but we're really happy about the end result, and we think that people have a lot of fun driving it.
Cars are lined up on the grid. The RaceSpot.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. We are underway. They all come down into turn 1 for the first time. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to RaceSpotTV's post-race coverage of the Club Buchanan Island Skip Barber Racing School Championship from Phillip Island. I want to give a shout out to Jim Paresis. Who knew that server issues could be so vital to you winning or losing a race? As we are now joined by Matthew Daniels, who comes home here today in a podium finish. The number 41 car coming home in the 3rd position. But Matthew, it's been a tough old race for you here today. You led at one point. You're technically classified as leading 2 laps here, but the competition, well, you were fierce, and you came home in the bronze medal position. Could it have been any higher?
Yeah, well, it's a really competitive race, really close. I mean, you can get pole position, you can lead the first couple of laps, but on a track where the draft plays such a factor, yeah, leads can be wiped out in an instant. You can end up for 2 or 3 or even 4 cars back. Fortunately, I managed to do quite well. Would have really liked to win. I feel it could have been possible, but I'm happy to take 3rd, especially in such a competitive field.
Well, let's have a look at your performance this season compared to a couple of seasons ago. This season, you've been able to go toe-to-toe with some of the biggest names in the business. People like Sebastian Joe, for example. Mark Mercer, of course, one of the legends of the Skip Barber Racing School Championship. Are you satisfied at the level of your performance now, as it is, as well as compared to where you're racing about 6 months ago?
Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how I'm doing at the moment. I've made a big improvement, certainly. I think certainly it helps that I've had quite a bit of seat time in the car, the Skip Barber, and got used to it. Well, certainly last season it was a new car to me. I still find out all its quirks, whereas now I'm used to the car. I'm putting in plenty of time each week to practice. So yeah, I feel that basically practice has really helped me.
Next week we go to Sebring. 2 questions here. First of all, A, are you looking forward to Sebring? And B, you talk about seat time. The seat time running in both the Skip Barber 2K World Cup and also in the Club Buchanan Island Skip Barber Racing School Championship. Does that help your week-to-week progression as far as being able to go for podiums, go for victories?
Okay, first of all, yep, I'm looking forward to Sebring. It's an exciting track, very bumpy, but produces a lot of action. Has a good race there last season. And second, yeah, running in both series certainly helps. And the more seat time you get, the better, really.
Well, thank you very much for talking to us. Matthew Daniels coming home in 3rd place here today, Rachel. But Sebastian Joe does claim himself a victory. It's a very close victory in the end. You have to say, Mark Mercer, a good job of him coming home within, well, 1/10 of a second of your race winner. And your top 4 drivers separated by just 1 second.
Yeah, incredible finish, and Mercer back, really fighting Job here. Seems like we had a couple of races where Mercer was languishing towards the back of the top 5, but he's really returned to the front with a vengeance now, and he's really nipping on those heels there of Job. Could have been either one of those 2 at the line. It was so close. I think we had legitimately 4 drivers today that could have won this race if obviously things hadn't gone wrong for Savidovic. Even the final lap, I didn't know which one of the 3 was going to win. You know, it could have been Daniels, it could have been Job, it could have been Mercer. And I love how much closer it's gotten at the front of this series. It used to be a couple of drivers, now we can go into a race not knowing. And you know what? That's amazing. I love it.
And of course, the next round of the championship will be in 7 days' time here from RaceSpotTV at Sebring International Raceway. Ladies and gentlemen, this coming Saturday, it'll be the 4th round of the 2015 iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series, as we are on the road to the 2015 iRacing.com Indianapolis 500 with the world's best sim racers taking part in a multitude of events, including the biggest, best online sim racing series, that is the iRacing.com World Championship Grand Prix Series. Nowhere else will you see the world's best sim racers taking part in the world's best series on the world's most precisionally scanned, laser scanned racetracks. And the 4th round of the championship will be from Road America this coming Saturday, with coverage from 1:30 PM GMT, qualifying and the entire race live only on RaceSpotTV and on iRacing Live. We'll be back in 7 days' time for continuing coverage of the Club UK Island Skip Barber Racing School Championship. With myself, Will Vincent, Rachel Whiteford, we shall talk to you all next time. Bye-bye.
Into the corner, that was a brilliant move. He managed to keep it
Oh,
under control.
Daniel Kiss is leading. Jim Paresis is off. Jim Paresis is off. And he's out of the race. Jim
happened?
Paresis is out of the race because of lag issues.
It looks like he had a disconnection, yeah.
He had a disconnect.
Unless he
Holy
reappears.
no.
We'll see if he reappears because he
I
hasn't
hope
had
so.
DNF yet.
Come on, Jim, come back. Oh, he had a DNF. It's over for Jim Paresis. So the lead being handed over on a silver platter to Mr. Kid.